Incredible love revealed, lonely Lumberjack's two-bid transforms life when she uncovers her name. Sam had always been a man of the woods. The towering evergreens of Maplewood, Oregon formed his daily canvas, the chirping birds composing his daytime symphony. But on that crisp autumn afternoon, nestled in his late grandmother's antique shop, he felt the quiet ache of loneliness deepen. This wasn't just any ordinary day, it was one of reckoning, as he shuffled through decades of memories wrapped in dust-covered treasures. When he unearthed a faded wooden box with a label that read Community Auction Relics, he had no idea his mundane bid of just $2 would thrust his quiet life into a whirlwind of emotions. What he discovered inside thrust him back in time, a breathtaking painting, hues of sunset spilling onto canvas, resplendent with the name Amy etched delicately across the bottom. Sam's heart stuttered. Memories burst forth like fireworks, a girl with laughter like the babbling brook, a shared treehouse that swayed under their youthful dreams, a friendship severed by her pursuit of the big city. A tightness lodged in his chest as nostalgia washed over him. Was Amy truly gone, or had she only left a piece of herself behind? In Manhattan, Amy was a far cry from that girl running through the fields of Maplewood. The pulsing art scene buzzed around her, each day a battle against self-doubt and ambition. Yet whispers of home tugged at her heartstrings, guiding her back on an unsteady path to the town that fostered her dreams. It was not just the painting that pulled her back, but also the realization that perhaps returning would rekindle something deep within, an echo of belonging. When the murmurs of Sam's find reached her in the smoke-filled galleries, she felt a rush of inevitability pull her to face her past. As the memories seeped in, sharp and sweet, she knew she would see Sam again. But would he be the man who had once shown her the beauty of simple things, or had the weight of grief and solitude carved new shadows into his soul? At the townsfolk gathering, the air felt electric. Sam stood, the painting cradled in his hands, and shared the story of the gifted artist named Amy. The crowd listened, the collective memories coming alive again. As Sam's gaze flickered across the crowd, it landed on her, Amy, standing at the fringes, eyes wide with surprise, spine straight with trepidation. The room held its breath, the informal chatter dimming into anxious anticipation. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Just as old flames began to flicker in both their hearts, the atmosphere thickened with an undeniable tension. Words spilled over, raw and heartfelt, revealing Sam's battle with self-worth, juxtaposed against Amy's ambitions heightened by city lights. Each accusation and uncertainty bent the air tighter, making it feel like they were at the grand finale of their shared past. Would dreams ultimately divide them? Would ambition overshadow love? As the townspeople watched in silence, Sam's voice rose, brittle with unspoken fears. The air crackled with unresolved feelings, and the confrontation reached its peak, a pivotal moment where two lives weaved back together, only to teeter on the edge of an emotional cliff. In that instant, the world outside seemed to halt, and Maplewood held its breath, waiting for the outcome of love intertwined with legacy, dreams, and destinies yet unwritten. Sam's heart raced as he stood before Amy, every nerve ending alive with uncertainty. The air vibed with the collective breath of the townsfolk, their eyes darting between the two old friends turned strangers. Amy, he started, his voice barely above a whisper, I thought I had lost you. Those words felt like an admission, a confessional spilling from his heart. Tension hung in the air, drifting between hope and fear, while Sam's mind went spinning through the years gone by. Amy shook her head, longing to bridge the chasm wrought by time. You didn't lose me, Sam. I left. The swirl of emotions mirrored the gusty winds rustling outside, leaves swirling like memories around them. I thought you were living your dream, he replied, a hint of bitterness creeping in. Sam's gaze fell momentarily, betraying the hurt left behind like splinters in his heart. Why come back now? Her brow furrowed in frustration and sadness, like clouds before a storm. Because I realized I'm still tied to this place, to you. I've tried to outrun it, but home doesn't let go so easily. At that moment, the weight of their shared history rose to the surface. Shared laughs in the treehouse, whispered secrets under starry skies, and then the painful silence of her departure. I've changed, Sam said, an edge in his tone. Maybe I'm not the same person you left behind. Amy met his eyes, and for a flicker of eternity, the world fell away. And maybe that's the point, she replied softly. Maybe there is something here for both of us. Together. As the crowd watched, anticipation filled the space like the sweet scent of pine lingering in the air. People leaned in, hoping to witness a flicker of something that could light the dark shadows of doubt surrounding them. Just then, Mrs. Collins, the town's self-proclaimed matchmaker, chimed from the back, humor lighting her eyes. Oh, you two need a little nudge. How about a bucket of maple syrup for a pancake breakfast? Everyone knows that sweet starts can bring about the best endings. A ripple of laughter broke the tension and Sam couldn't help but crack a smile. You make it sound so easy, Mrs. Collins, he said lightly, though the seriousness of their conversation hung like a ghost. Amy glanced at him, a glint of hope sparking behind her eyes. Maybe we could start by just sharing a meal. After all, food brought us together once. Sam nodded, a hint of a smile teasing the corners of his lips. Yeah, at least I can guarantee the pancakes won't whisk you away to New York. The simple warmth of that moment wrapped around them, but a question lingered: how would they shake off the weight of their choices? The doubts swirled around as they stepped into possibility, hearts reconnected yet cautious. Suddenly, a loud crash erupted from outside. The townsfolk gasped, and all eyes darted toward the commotion. Several people rushed to the window. What's that? Someone yelled. Sam felt a surge of adrenaline. Something big was happening, and it felt like it was about to change everything. As they pushed through the crowd, Amy grasped his hand. In that moment, the air sang with electricity. Would this new development help them confront what lay ahead, or would it pull them apart once more? The heart of Maplewood was alive with whispers of the unknown, and Sam felt a flicker of fear and excitement intertwining. What awaited them outside could either bind them together or shatter what fragile connection remained. With his heart pounding, Sam took a deep breath. Ready? He asked Amy. Ready, she replied, squeezing his hand tighter. As they stepped into the chaos of the unknown, the looming question lingered: what awaited them on the other side of their shared past? The moment they crossed the threshold into the chaos, a cacophony of sounds hit them. The townspeople buzzed with excitement, a mix of fear and curiosity swirling in the air. Sam felt the weight of Amy's hand in his grip, grounding him as they moved forward. What happened? He murmured, eyes darting around to piece together the scene. A few neighbors had gathered near the large oak tree at the center of the square. Its branches were tangled with colorful leaves that shimmered in the autumn sun, but something unusual demanded their focus. Look! Someone called out, pointing. Amid the foliage lay a small vintage truck, its hood crumpled and engine smoking. A few men were already rushing over, but Sam's attention was drawn to the figure next to the truck. A woman, probably in her late 30s, with tousled hair and an expression of disbelief painted across her face. Is she okay? Amy asked, concern flooding her voice. I think so, Sam replied, his protective instincts surging. They pushed their way closer, and as they reached the front of the crowd, he caught the woman's gaze. I'm fine. She insisted, her voice loud enough to break through the noise. But I think I managed to take my truck on an unexpected tour of the town. A nervous laugh escaped her lips. Sam and Amy exchanged a quick glance. Laughter seemed to be a coping mechanism in a moment of chaos, one that resonated with the duo's own simmering tension. Mrs. Collins squeezed through the crowd, her eyes bright and mischievous. Just like I said. A little action always brings folks together. You think we should get a pancake breakfast ready for our newcomer? In a way, it made sense. The sudden crash was the kind of catalyst the town needed, something to breathe life and connection back into Maplewood. No pancakes until you fix that mess. A gruff voice called from the crowd, breaking the levity. Sam chuckled, but then felt the jolt of reality again. What would it take to mend his and Amy's past? Would this situation, whatever it had triggered, be the nudge they needed? As the crowd began to disperse, the woman approached Sam and Amy, brushing herself off. "I'm Jenna," she said with a genuine smile. "I guess I'm new in town, but I'm not really off to a great start." "What brings you to Maplewood?" Amy asked, her voice softening. "A dream," Jenna replied, her eyes shining. "I wanted a fresh start, to find out who I am away from the chaos of the city." She shot a quick glance at the crumpled truck. "I just didn't expect to announce my arrival like this." A ripple of laughter passed through Amy and Sam, but beneath it was something deeper, a connection forming in the oddest of situations. "That's kind of like us," Sam said, turning to Amy, his heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. "Trying to find what we really want, and it's a mess sometimes." When he looked back at Jenna, he was surprised to see her watching them closely, as if she sensed the unspoken bond between him and Amy. What better way to start a new chapter than together? "You two should come by for pancakes anyway," Jenna said, lifting the mood again. Just like that, the melancholy that had settled around Sam and Amy began to lift. Perhaps this was the spark they needed, a chance to connect not just with their own past but with something fresh that could redirect their future. But as they shared tentative smiles, a larger figure emerged from the shadows behind the truck. Sam's stomach dropped. It was a familiar face, one from a past he tried to outrun, one that could change everything once again. "Sam," it called out, voice smooth yet edged with something darker. "We need to talk." Sam felt the shift in the air, the future they'd just begun to embrace shattered like glass. Would this unexpected meeting spark yet another storm, or would it finally offer the clarity they all desperately sought? Sam's heart raced as he turned to face the newcomer. The man's tall frame loomed just behind Jenna's truck, an almost menacing presence in the warm autumn light. Nathan, an old friend turned rival, wore a smirk that felt like a knife twisting in Sam's gut. "Really, Sam?" Nathan's voice dripped with sarcasm. "Still hanging around here, playing the big protector? I thought you'd have moved on." After he paused, letting the silence stretch, the weight of their shared past pressing down on both of them, Sam clenched his jaw, biting back his instinct to lash out. He remembered too well the moments that had driven him to leave, a betrayal that cut deeper than both of them cared to admit. "What do you want, Nathan?" Sam replied, his tone low and steady, but the fire simmered just below the surface. "We need to talk." "This isn't over," Nathan said, glancing at Amy, then back at Sam, an unsettling glint in his eye. "In fact, it's just beginning." Jenna's smile faltered, uncertainty clouding her previously bright demeanor. "Hey, let us not ruin the mood here. This is a time for pancakes and friendly chatter, or at least I thought." Her try at humor fell flat. Amy took a step closer to Sam, her eyes darting between the two men. "My understanding is that people come to Maplewood for a fresh start. How about you recognize that and move on?" Nathan chuckled, but it held none of the joy Jenna had earlier. It was dark, humorless. Fresh start. For some, maybe. For others, it's about tying up loose ends. Sam felt the tension echo through the crowd, people watching them with a mix of concern and curiosity. A parade of emotions washed over him: anger, anxiety, and something all too familiar, dread. Jenna moved to stand between Nathan and Sam, her presence a determined wall. "Look, whatever history you have, can't we just leave it behind? This is a small town. Let us not turn it into a battlefield." Suddenly, the fight in Sam dwindled, replaced by the weight of reality. He'd left Maplewood to escape Nathan and the ghosts of their friendship, yet here they stood in a confrontation that threatened to unravel everything. "I don't want to fight," Sam said finally, his voice softer yet firm. I just want to be happy. Nathan's brow furrowed, the smirk fading as seriousness crept in. Then maybe it's time to confront what you've been running from. You can't outrun the past forever, Sam. At that, something shifted inside Sam. Nathan had a point, the shadows of their shared past loomed larger now than ever. Facing them he realized might be the only way he could truly move forward. As Nathan stepped back, the attention shifted away from the simmering tension. People started mumbling, stepping out of their collective discomfort. Jenna turned to Sam. What now? She asked, genuine curiosity lighting her eyes. This town seems to thrive on second chances. Are you going to give yourself that opportunity? Sam stared at her, feeling the pulse of his heart beneath his ribs. Was he ready? Could he find a way to not only face the past but also unlock the future? With Amy beside him, he felt a flicker of hope, but the question remained: could old wounds heal in the face of new beginnings? The whispers around them began to die down, but a new tension settled in the air. Sam glanced at Nathan one last time, searching for answers in a face he once knew so well. He felt his resolve strengthen. I'm not running anymore, he said, more to himself than anyone else. The truth hung palpably in the air, and as Sam turned to Jenna and Amy, he wondered if they were ready for whatever storm might be brewing on the horizon. What would it take to reshape their lives together in this small town of fresh starts? Suddenly, Amy's phone buzzed loudly, shattering the moment. She looked down, her brow furrowing. It's my dad, she said, urgency creeping into her voice. I have to take this. As she moved away, Sam could feel the uncertainty settle back around him. The weight of Nathan's presence lingered, and his heart raced as he realized that the real storm was still to come. The moment was fragile, and the air crackled with unanswered questions. Would they find their footing amidst the chaos? And more importantly, what echoed beneath the surface that they had yet to uncover? Sam watched as Amy stepped away, her phone pressed tightly against her ear. The moment had felt suspended in time, pulsing with potential and unresolved tension. He could still feel Nathan's sharp gaze on him, a tangible reminder of the past he was determined to confront. Jenna glanced nervously between the two men, sensing the undercurrents swirling in the air. Maybe we should, she started, but Sam cut her off, the urgency in his heart spilling into his voice. No, he said, his tone firm yet softening with resolve. This is something I need to face. Not just for me, but for Amy and for us. Nathan seemed almost giddy at the prospect of conflict. You think you can take me on? After all this time? His confidence was unnerving. You don't know what you're up against. Ignoring Nathan's taunts, Sam turned back to Jenna. What if next time we're all around the table, it's not filled with awkward silence? What if we make it better? Jenna's eyes brightened momentarily. I like that idea, but you have to talk to him. You can't just wish it away. Before Sam could respond, Amy returned, a flicker of concern on her face. My dad wants to see me. I'm sorry, I don't know how long I'll be gone. A jolt of panic ripped through Sam. What is going on? Is everything okay? He just got out of the hospital, she replied, her voice trembling slightly as she bit her lower lip. He's been worried, and I told him I'd stop by. The words hung heavy in the space between them. Sam wanted to reach out, wanted to tell her she didn't have to go alone. Instead, he felt his heart ache at the thought of her leaving, knowing she needed to confront her own shadows now too. I'll be back, Amy promised, more to reassure herself than him. She turned to Nathan, who was watching their exchange with an insufferable smirk. Can you just behave while I'm gone? Nathan held up his hands mockingly. Promise, I'm just here for the pancakes. With a mix of worry and determination swirling within him, Sam felt the tension shift. There had been a spark between him and Amy, something new and alive despite the looming storm. He wanted her to find her strength, but it cut deep to realize it might push them further apart. Take care of yourself, Sam managed to say, his voice steady but his heart racing. As Amy drove off, the colorful trees blurred past the windows, a reminder of everything he fought to protect. He turned back to Nathan, who seemed ready for a showdown. "What do you want from me, Nathan?" Sam demanded. Nathan stepped forward, invading his space. "I want the truth. It's time we lay our cards on the table. Only then can you truly move on." The challenge in Nathan's voice ignited a fire within Sam, but he remained cautious. "You think dredging up old wounds will help anyone? Or is this just another game for you?" "No game," Nathan shot back with a seriousness that took Sam by surprise. "You never understood how important it was. You ran away, but I stayed. I had to deal with everything you left behind. The truth is all that matters now." Sam's blood ran cold at the weight of those words. He felt the ground shift under his feet as everything he had buried started to resurface. He took a deep breath, knowing the moment of truth had arrived. "Fine. Let us talk," he said, steeling himself. He couldn't hide anymore, not from Nathan and certainly not from himself. As he and Nathan began to walk, a silent agreement reached between them, the air thickened with unease. Sam's mind raced with questions, the shadows of the past creeping back in. He was determined to break free if he could just uncover the truth buried beneath years of pain. With each step toward their confrontation, Sam felt the storm they had stirred beginning to brew around them. What revelations awaited him, and would he emerge stronger or would he be caught in the chaos once again? Sam walked alongside Nathan, the air crackling with tension. The world around them faded, leaving just the two men and the weight of their shared history. They stepped into a nearby diner, the familiar sounds of clinking dishes and soft chatter surrounding them, grounding Sam a simple sanctuary amidst the storm. Nathan slid into a booth, a wicked grin playing on his lips. Sam sat across from him, determination wavering. Despite the ordinary setting, everything felt charged, every breath layered with unspoken fears and truths. "You really think you understand?" Nathan began, leaning forward, his tone almost taunting. "You don't know what it was like when you left. You left me to deal with everything." Those words stung deeper than Sam wanted to admit. "I had my reasons. I was scared. I thought it was the only way to protect everyone. But I see now it didn't help anyone." Nathan scoffed. "Protecting by running? That's rich, Sam. You buried your head in the sand, and it didn't just hurt you. Your family, your friends, we all felt the impact." The flavor of regret threatened to settle in Sam's throat. He couldn't deny it. He had hoped that leaving would erase the pain. Instead, the pain became a ghost, haunting him through years of silence. "I'm not that person anymore," he said, keeping his resolve strong despite the tremor in his voice. "I came back to start fresh. To fix things." "Fixing things ain't as easy as you think," Nathan replied, his demeanor softening just slightly. "There's a lot of mess to sort through. You can't just waltz back in and pretend everything is fine." "No, I can't," Sam admitted, the truth settling like lead in his stomach. "But I have to try. For Amy, for Jenna, for all of us." Nathan's expression flickered, a hint of vulnerability breaking through. "You don't owe me anything, but I need you to see the damage your absence caused. It's not just about you feeling better. What about me? What about everyone else?" The challenge was heavy, yet Sam sensed Nathan's pain. "I get it, but we can't go back. We can only move forward. I want to find a way to make things right." It was a moment suspended in time. As Nathan's gaze softened, Sam could see the hurt and the longing for the brotherhood they once shared. "Look, we lost time. But if you're serious about fixing this, there's more to it than just words. You need to dig deeper, into yourself." Sam nodded, the gravity of their conversation sinking in. After years of running from the scars of their past, he felt the urge to peel back layers he'd buried so long ago. He glanced out the window, the winter sun slicing through gray clouds, whispering of hope. "I'm ready to face it." Just then, Jenna entered the diner, her face lighting up at the sight of both men. She approached, radiating warmth despite the chill outside. "Hey, I was looking for you guys. Amy just texted that she's on her way back. I thought we could all catch up together." Sam's heart raced, a rush of anticipation flooding through him. Would Amy be ready to face these truths too? What if their past shadows lingered too long? The air felt electric again, as they faced another layer of complexity with friendship, love, and the past. "Yeah, I'm sure we can talk," Sam said, glancing back at Nathan, whose brow furrowed, but his gaze held a flicker of something, determination, perhaps. "Let's just not pretend," Nathan replied, his tone steady. "Let's be real with each other, starting now." Sam felt the weight of their silent pact settling in, a shared understanding shaping their path forward. With every moment, he felt stronger but also terrified of the reality that awaited them. What if those truths, once unveiled, were too raw to bear? Would Amy's return bring them closer, or would it pull them apart? Questions lingered in the air, tangled in the whirlwind of emotions. What awaited them all in the sacred space of honesty? Each heartbeat echoed, promising change, but at what cost? And as they waited for Amy to arrive, Sam couldn't shake the gnawing feeling that the real test of their resolve was about to begin. The door of the diner swung open, and an icy gust swept in, bringing with it the faint smell of wood smoke and fresh air. Sam's breath hitched slightly as he registered Amy stepping inside. She looked different, somehow older, with a maturity that had been worn by time and experience. Her hair hung loosely around her shoulders, framing a face that was both familiar and foreign. "Amy," he breathed, half a whisper, half a prayer. She spotted Nathan first, her smile faltering just a moment before she strode towards them. There was a softness in her gaze that turned to surprise as she noticed Sam. Her steps slowed, uncertainty creeping in. "Hey, you two," Amy said, her voice bright but with a hint of carefulness. "I didn't know you'd be here together." Sam opened his mouth to respond, but the words caught in his throat. This was supposed to be a moment of reunion, but instead, it felt heavy. The weight of unspoken words hung in the air between them. "We were just catching up," Nathan said smoothly, a tinge of challenge in his voice. He shot Sam a side glance, urging him to take the plunge, to share whatever was bottled up inside him. "Yeah, I needed to get out. Thought it'd be nice to see old faces," Sam managed, forcing a smile. It felt inadequate. "Oh, well, it is good to see you both," she replied, though Sam sensed the hesitation in her tone. He could feel it, that quiet tension threading through the three of them. "How have you been?" Nathan asked, trying to bridge the growing silence. "There's a lot to catch up on, but overall, I can't complain," Amy said, her eyes darting between the two men. "I heard some things about you guys about Sam." Her tone shifted slightly, a mixture of curiosity and caution. The last thing Sam wanted was for her to feel uncomfortable. But he couldn't ignore the need to address their twisted past. "Listen, Amy, I know things haven't been easy since he began," but she raised her hand gently, silencing him. "Not now, okay? I think we need to ease into this." "There's too much," she replied, though her eyes glistened with pent-up emotions. With that, the air turned electric again, the hush punctuated only by the soft clinks of busy waitstaff and ongoing conversations around them. Sam could see Nathan shift uncomfortably in his seat, the urge to talk battling with the weight of unresolved feelings in the air. "Let's just enjoy being together for a moment, yeah?" Nathan suggested, trying to break the tension. "We can eat, laugh, and get back to the heavy stuff later." Sam nodded, grateful for Nathan's effort. But deep down, he felt a battle raging within him. Did they even have the luxury of waiting? Each day lost felt like another layer of estrangement piled on top of them. Could they simply pretend everything was fine? As the waitress approached to take their order, Sam's mind wandered. He caught Amy exchanging a glance with Nathan, an understanding passing between them that he couldn't quite grasp. What did it mean? Sam, Amy said suddenly, turning her full attention towards him, I'm really glad you're back. I just hope we can. I don't know, navigate what's ahead together. Her words struck like a match in the darkness of his thoughts. Me too, he replied, his voice thick with emotion. I want that more than anything. Before he could say more, the door swung open again, this time bringing a group of loud patrons. Laughter erupted, an awkward contrast to the undercurrent of seriousness that had settled over their table. Sam's heart raced, caught in the crossfire of hope and fear. The truth loomed on the horizon, and as they laughed off the interruption, Sam could feel the ticking clock. The real test was coming. Would they be ready to face it, to confront the wreckage of their past together? The weight of the question sat heavily on his shoulders as another wave of uncertainty washed over him. What would happen when the moment came to finally unveil their scars? Would they heal, or would they break apart even further? With every heartbeat, the feeling of the storm brewing grew stronger. The real journey was just about to begin. The moment hung thick in the air, laughter ricocheting around them, but Sam felt like a spectator in a world just out of reach. Amy was here, tangible and alive, yet the distance between them felt like miles. He could see the way her fingers fidgeted with a napkin, how she tried to mask her nervousness with a smile. It made his heart ache to know she felt it too. Nathan steered the conversation away from tension, asking about that quirky festival coming up downtown. Amy joined in, her laughter soft and genuine. It was endearing to see her like this, yet Sam couldn't shake the nagging sensation that they were brushing past the heart of the matter, a heart that had once felt rhythmically in sync. When the food arrived, the aroma of greasy fries and burgers mingled with the sweetness of nostalgia. They dug in, and while the exterior laughter held them together for the moment, the underlying current caused Sam to wince with every bite. He was hungry for the real conversations, the kind that could either mend them or shatter them entirely. Sam, Nathan's voice broke the casual chatter, you should try the milkshake. It's legendary. Sam raised an eyebrow, a smile quirking at the corner of his lips. Anything to keep this conversation from drifting into a deeper ocean. He paused, searching Amy's face for an answer. I mean, we have to talk about something, right? Amy's expression shifted, shadows dancing in her eyes. You really want to dive into the deep end right now? She asked gently. We've just reunited. The truth in her words stung. They had to wade through the shallow waters first, but the deeper currents were magnetic, beckoning him forward. Sam chuckled, trying to mask the raw edge of his desire to confront the unfinished chapters of their lives. Maybe I'm tired of tiptoeing around. Maybe we all are, Nathan interjected, the tension coiling tighter. But you know, there is something to be said for enjoying the moment too. Easy for you to say, Sam muttered under his breath, but only loud enough for Amy to hear. The flicker of humor faded, replaced with uncertainty as he registered the challenge in her gaze. I want to know, Sam, she said quietly, her voice dipping below the din of the diner. I just don't want to feel overwhelmed. In that moment, their eyes locked. The icy chill of past grievances met the warmth of rekindled longing. Sam felt the world around him blur, drowning out the chaos. He leaned in, heart racing. I get that. But truth doesn't always overwhelm. Sometimes, it can set you free. Amy's breath caught in her throat, and for a heartbeat, he thought he could see their past unfold in her eyes, the laughter, the love, the heartbreak. Maybe it's time to embrace that freedom, Nathan said, his voice softer. Life's too short. The commitment in Nathan's words struck a chord. Sam cast a fleeting glance at him, a mix of gratitude and frustration. Did Nathan truly want to dive deep too? Or was he merely playing the peacemaker, unprepared for the storm brewing? Finally, Amy inhaled sharply, a nod of agreement in her gaze. We can't just sit here pretending the past doesn't exist. I'm ready to talk, to try to understand. Sam's heart raced at the admission. Relief surged through him, followed by a wave of anxiety. "Are you sure?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "I am," Amy assured him, her expression steady. "Let us not put this off any longer." The reality hit him like a freight train. The uncharted waters ahead would be fraught with danger. But as they locked eyes again, something deeper glimmered within. A promise, perhaps. He reached for her hand, his nerves intertwining with hope. As laughter from the nearby table faded, the truth lingered on the tip of his tongue, poised and ready. His mind raced, wondering how to unveil their past without ripping them apart, but before he could speak, the door burst open once more, and the atmosphere warped as a stranger entered, a clipboard in hand, scanning the diner as if looking for someone. Sam's heart skipped. Who was this unexpected visitor, and what did they want? The table grew silent, anticipation swelling in the air like a balloon, ready to pop. Every eye turned towards the newcomer, and Sam felt the sea of uncertainty return with a vengeance. What did this stranger bring to their moment? And would it disrupt the fragile thread that connected them at that crucial moment? The stranger, clad in a well-worn jacket and a cap pulled low, stepped further into the diner, the fluorescent lights glinting off the clipboard he clutched tightly. Sam's breath quickened. It was as if the previous conversations lost their gravity, leaving only the weight of this stranger's presence. Excuse me," the newcomer called out, his voice breaking through the clamor of forks and chatter. "I'm looking for someone, a girl named Amy Carter. Is she here?" Sam's heart dropped. He glanced at Amy, who had gone pale. Her eyes widened, reflecting a mix of shock and confusion. For a moment, time seemed to stand still, just a heartbeat, but enough to swallow all words and thoughts. Is this a joke? Sam wondered, his mind racing. What did this man want with her? He searched her face for answers, but Amy's expression revealed only anxiety and surprise. "Amy?" The stranger pressed, peering at her intently. "I need to talk to you. It's important." "What do you want with her?" Nathan asked, standing defensively. Sam felt a rush of protective energy, instinct kicking in. Whatever this was, it felt invasive and wrong. The stranger took a careful step closer, lowering his clipboard as if it were a peace offering. "I promise I'm not here to cause trouble. It's just, there are some things you need to know," he urged. Amy remained seated, her instinct to retreat battling with her desire for clarity. "I don't know what you're talking about. Who sent you?" "I can't explain everything here," he admitted, troubled yet resolute. "But you need to come with me. I swear it's important." Panic surged in Sam's chest, mixing with a desperate need to protect Amy. He glanced at Nathan, whose brow furrowed in confusion. What did this man know? What could he possibly want with Amy? "Please, just give me a minute to talk to her, alone," the stranger pleaded, glancing around the diner. The eyes of the patrons now hovered, curiosity gleaming in their gazes, amplifying the tension in the air. "Absolutely not," Sam shot back, feeling a flare of indignation. "Whatever this is, you don't just whisk her away." The atmosphere thickened, voices just above whispers. As the stranger's eyes darted from Sam to Amy, it was as if he was weighing his options. Finally, he sighed, looking straight at Amy. "You'll want to hear this, I promise. It concerns family things that were lost, or hidden. Information that could change everything for you." The words hung between them, like an invisible tether anchoring Sam in place. Amy's eyes glistened slightly, parts of her heart awakening in ways Sam had never anticipated. He could see the wheels turning in her mind, the mix of fear and hope painting her delicate features. "Family?" she echoed, her voice trembling softly. "What are you talking about? I know this is sudden, but I'm telling you there's so much you don't know. Just come with me, and I swear I'll explain everything," the stranger insisted, desperation creeping into his tone. Nathan shifted uneasily. "You can't just drag her off like this. We're not letting you take her anywhere until we understand what is going on." Sam looked back at Amy, whose gaze was locked with the stranger's. In that moment, the world around them blurred again. He watched her weigh the options, fear battling against curiosity. Could this be a way to finally unveil the things that had remained hidden for so long? "This isn't the place," the stranger pressed, his voice softening. "But no one can protect what's waiting for you out there. Only you can choose it." The unsuspecting diners resumed their meals, but the atmosphere remained charged. Sam felt the ground shifting beneath him, the reality of their fragile connection hanging by a thread, and he knew this moment could unravel everything. "Are you sure?" Amy finally asked, her question resonating through him like a bell. His pulse quickened. Would she choose to venture into the unknown? Or retreat into the familiarity of what little they had managed to rebuild? He reached for her hand once more, anchoring her in the present. The stranger's face hardened, a man on a mission. But Sam was not going to lose her again. "What do you want, Amy?" he whispered, his heart racing in a frantic plea, knowing the choice she made next could change everything, and as the weight of their past and the uncertainty of their future converged into one pivotal moment, the door swished open again, and the very air shifted once more, bringing a new surprise that neither of them anticipated. The door swung open, and everyone turned to see a familiar face step into the diner. It was Jenna, the woman from the truck incident, and her bright smile cut through the tension like a warm knife through butter. "Hey, everyone! I was hoping to catch you guys again," she exclaimed, her enthusiasm contagious. In that moment, the air shifted again. Sam felt a wave of relief wash over him as he focused on Jenna, who seemed like a grounding force amid the chaotic energy swirling around Amy and the mysterious stranger. "Jenna, perfect timing," he called out, his voice infused with an eagerness he hadn't expected. "We could use some good vibes right now." "Oh, I'm all about the good vibes," she replied, walking toward them. A flicker of recognition sparked in Amy's expression, a reminder of the unexpected connection they had formed. "I hope you don't mind me crashing your reunion, but I thought maybe I could offer a different perspective." The stranger stepped back, a frown etched on his face, seemingly unprepared for this turn of events. "I really need to talk to Amy," he persisted, his urgency palpable, but Jenna didn't back down. "I get that," Jenna replied, her tone steady, "but right now, what matters is that we're all here. Can't we at least have a moment to breathe and talk together?" Sam watched as Amy looked between Jenna and the stranger. There was something reassuring about Jenna's presence, an embodiment of support and warmth that made everything feel slightly more manageable. "Maybe she's right," Amy ventured, her voice steadying just a bit. "I mean, you came all this way, it can't hurt to take a breath before diving into whatever it is you want to share, right?" The tense atmosphere lightened slightly, the crowd silently rooting for unity. "All right," the stranger relented reluctantly. "But this is important. Just remember, you can't hide forever." Jenna clutched her clipboard, fiercely optimistic. "Let's make sure we layer our talks with a hint of sweet syrup, shall we? Pancakes have a way of softening the hardest truths." Sam sensed a shift. He looked to Amy, who seemed to be reconsidering, casting a sidelong glance at the stranger. The dynamic was changing, even just a bit, allowing a sliver of hope to break through. Jenna smiled brightly as she summoned an order of pancakes for the table. "Now, while we carb load, let us ease into whatever layers need peeling." As they waited for the food and the atmosphere softened, Sam took a deep breath. "Amy, if you want to share what's on your heart, I'm with you. We're in this together." The truth in his voice was unwavering. She nodded slowly, falling into the rhythm of the conversation. "I've been thinking about how we might rediscover not just the past but also this wild possibility of what our futures could look like." Nathan tensed slightly but didn't say anything. "You deserve to know if what you feel runs deeper than just nostalgia," Amy continued, her eyes reflecting vulnerability mixed with strength. "Maybe it's possible to step back into our lives, despite all that has happened. But if there are things that could change our lives, well, that's something we need to address, right?" The stranger nodded, sensing the need for clarity. "You are right, Amy. But it's important to communicate, to hear what each of you needs before stepping forward. Family ties and long-lost connections don't have to snare you, they can lead you home. Jenna leaned in, her enthusiasm slowly easing into the topic at hand. Home can often be where love lives, we just have to be ready for the journey. Their pancakes arrived just in time, and the warm aroma filled their table. Everyone paused, momentarily distracted by the delicious spread before them, the comfort of food wrapping around them. As they each took a bite, Sam couldn't harbor the weight of the past any longer. Okay, here's what I think, he said carefully. We can't run from our past anymore. We have to face it, every messy part of it. And just as he spoke those words, the door swung open yet again. A middle-aged woman stepped in, her eyes scanning the room until they found Amy. Amy Carter. She called out, her voice suddenly filling the diner. Sam's heart sank. What more could this be? Would they ever find the peace that eluded them amidst the whirlwind of their unresolved lives? Mom. Amy gasped as recognition flickered, and the air crackled with the possibility of long-buried family truths rising to the surface. In that moment, everything transformed. The past was rushing back, unraveling in ways none of them could have ever anticipated. Sam felt a knot of anxiety and curiosity tighten in his chest. This was it. They were standing at the turning point of their lives. As the layers of history began to peel back, they would either be woven together in a tapestry of love, or could they face the possibility of unraveling completely? As the diner erupted into whispers of excitement, everything was on the cusp of resolution. What lay ahead was a path they must choose to walk together or apart, guided by the truth they had all been avoiding. And then, the call for action echoed in his mind. Would they choose courage, follow their hearts, and embrace the journey ahead? Now was the moment of realization. Sam turned to Amy and whispered, "Whatever happens, I'm here." The climactic story of transformation was unfolding, heartbeats racing, promises lingering in the air. Don't wait not even one more second to share this emotional roller coaster with your friends. You need to subscribe now to ensure you won't miss the next chapter of this journey. Leave a like now, because your support fuels the storytelling engine. Comment your thoughts and feelings about this finale. Every word matters. Together they can navigate the tides of change, but your support makes all the difference. Let us keep this adventure alive.